We will have been open for 5 years this coming November, and I can't think of two more important weeks that we've experienced in our restaurant than during the evacuation. We were very honored to be allowed to participate in providing essential services for the community. To even be asked or offered that option was beyond anything that you could expect to have that opportunity. So serving people in a time of extreme stress, and some people say danger, we never felt in danger, that was an honor. Hearing their stories, just having that extra couple minutes in the evening when fire crews would come in and just talking, how things went. The day a mother came in and said that her son had to get in his truck they had been given a 2-minute warning to leave an area, and she described how her son got in his truck and was going to follow another truck out in a wall of fire. I'll get choked up just to tell it. A wall of fire burst up in front of him, and he had to physically drive his truck through a wall of fire to get out. To share those moments with guests, the mom had tears in her eyes, I had tears in my eyes then and now. It's so powerful. Another evening, a couple of guys came in and they were buying like 24 ice caps, which were donated by businesses in the community, but they didn't know that when they ordered them. And they also had been given a very short period of time to evacuate. They were on cats and dozers, and the fire had done a little jump and was right beside them, and they really had to almost run for their lives also and leave, millions of dollars of equipment right there in the middle of a fire. And they came in here and they were still very wound up, very tense and on edge. And to hear that all those ice caps were free just kind of broke the tension and gave them a few moments of relief. And then we had a chat and they got to tell us their story. People sharing stories, there's nothing more powerful.
So one of the first nights of evacuation, an RCMP officer came in. It was probably 2 or 3 in the morning. There was no lights on in town. We were just running off the generator, and he said, "Your establishment looks like a beacon of shining hope in the middle of a dark night." And it was pretty amazing, just with running on generator power, the whole town without power, and we're still open. Pretty cool that we were able to get the generator from Pinnacle Services and have Kyle from REW come over and help do the wiring. Then Tom Gramson from Northern Services swung by, and he tweaked a few things so that our compressors and that would be running with the new power off the generators.
On Monday, we had a full staff. We were expecting to be reasonably busy, and a full staff was on. But by 2 or 3 in the afternoon, when things started looking uncertain and the town definitely had an air about it that something was different, then we gathered our staff together and said, we're not positive what's going to happen here, but we want anyone with children to be considering that if this fire continues, you might have to leave town. So we want you if anyone had kids that was still working on the morning shift, we just asked them to go home and take some time to prepare and think about what they might need if the town evacuated. And this just was all coming from a sense of unease among the people coming in the door. They were coming in and talking to us at the counter. There was just a sense of urgency in the community and uncertainty. So full staff, yes, but we asked them to think about what they might do. When the town put us on alert, of course, that made us aware of, I guess, you're in the middle of a forest. You're used to having forest fires and forest crews coming and going. So that's never a surprise. To think that it was close enough to affect the community was probably one of the most shocking things that happened on Holiday Monday. From that morning and from the time the fire was growing, we had talked among ourselves, Paul and Jared and I, that we wanted to be open for as long as possible. And if the town would let us stay here, we would be very interested in serving the community. So that was very paramount. And when people were coming in, I don't think that we were worried about our own safety or our team members' safety. We were really focused on the guests. They were having some pretty shaky moments, some of them. So just talking to them and making it a light moment or friendly time or just hearing their concerns, I think is what everyone here was really focused on. We never took 2 minutes really to think about ourselves or or anything. I made sure that my dog got in a car with some of our team members so that I really had no commitments other than the restaurant.
We were helping provide the breakfast for the town hall and the fire hall, and some days it would be like 350 breakfasts between the two of them. But you know, the other businesses in town really stepped up as well. So like for instance, Traditions, the Flamingo and the Mirage were cooking suppers on a rotating basis, and then as well they were also rotating the lunch. And you know, massive team effort by everyone that was able to stay. We certainly wouldn't have been able to keep up with a lunch or a supper order as well as breakfast. I mean, we were flat out. It was really impressive. I got a bunch of pictures of our team members, and they've just got an assembly line going of, you know, 100 English muffins, and then one person's doing cheese, one person's doing bacon, next person's doing egg, one person's wrapping it all up. And you know, just I can't say enough about how well the town worked together and how everyone was willing to help everyone else. There was one point we were going to run out of sliced ham, so Ash at the Flamingo was hand slicing ham by light of his cell phone in the dark, and he brought us over some ham so that we could keep serving ham and cheddar sandwiches. After the evacuation ended, you know, the help hasn't stopped. I mean, we were kind of running out of cream one day, and I went over to the Mirage, and Chef Jack gave me a bunch of his cream that we could use to serve coffee. I went to the Flamingo, Tyseer gave me a bunch of creamers, so we were just hand pouring these little creamers in. And you know, we're just so grateful to be part of a community like High Level, where everyone is just bending over backwards to help everyone else. And I think that's kind of part of like what it's about to live in the north. You know, we don't have a lot of resources up here, like say in the city, where, you know, you have all this stuff at your fingertips, and up here we have to rely on each other a lot. And yeah, just very grateful to be a part of this. So I know that this is one of the biggest fires in Alberta's history, so it just makes sense for everyone to be working together.
People kept coming in and asking us if they could help in some way. So we decided that we would let people load Tim cards, and from those Tim cards we would treat more people to iced drinks. So coffee and tea were free the entire 2 weeks for everyone who came in. So many of them would come in and get their free coffee, but when they could come in and get a free ice cap or a chocolate chill or something like that, they were really thrilled. So we said to businesses, if you want to load Tim cards, we'd be glad to accept donations for Tim cards.
Just about every team member wanted to stay. So that was super heartwarming because, you know, it was a scary time, a lot of uncertainty, and people were volunteering left and right. And our team members were working like 12-hour shifts without complaint, big smiles on their faces. And you could see at the end of the shift and sometimes at the beginning of the shift, you know, they were tired. But they powered through, and Mom and Dad and I powered through, and some super long days, but very rewarding, you know, to be able to help just in any way. Like I always say that we had the easiest job during the evacuation, just smile and serve coffee. It was everyone else that had to make decisions or actually fight the fire. They had the tough, important jobs, and we were just very grateful for the opportunity to be here.
We're so proud of our team. They trusted us. We all trusted in the process, and our team trusted us, and we trusted them. So for 10 people to run an operation like this 24 hours a day for 2 weeks, at the end of that time we had a few of our team members come back and help us, but they were amazing, nothing short of amazing. They worked 12 and 14-hour shifts every day, and they never let anybody down, us or themselves.